moving house and kind of went, oh God, and started throwing everything together here. If you have anything if you have any questions or anything, speak up, talk, etc., etc. First thing we're going to do is we are going to make the pattern, and this always looks kind of doofy. Take a piece of paper. Generally, I just use.
After we have the larger
pieces. I should know these. A paper bag from like the grocery store. You're gonna have it so it's folded in half.
You know, we got stuff written on it.
And I am literally just going to put it up against my jaw, and I'm going to do a rough trace of where my jaw goes. And it's going to look messy as hell. On my murder masks, I go a little higher. Some just go across like this, a little higher because it gives me a little more range. And as I said, this part looks hella strange. You're going to end up,
No, that's fine.
you can barely see them like that, but then you're going to take that rough shape that you have and just draw a single straight line. Make sure that the nose is where the folded over part is, because otherwise you're doing it backwards and it's not going to do any good. Now, we're going to draw this part out. It ends up looking something like that. When it's done, it'll end up looking something, hold on, like this. This is a different one that I've done. I've got these floating all over the freaking house. Like this. Anyways, take this out, cut it. Cut a little bigger than it needs to be because it is way easier to cut this. It's a piece of paper. It's easier to cut the paper down than it is to add to it. I mean, you can if you need to because tape, but it's annoying.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we start off here. Do we do like?
Oh yeah. So okay, you have the piece of paper. Sorry, I've already started cutting it. You have the piece of paper. It is folded in half.
Fold it in half.
Put it up against your face, and you are literally going to just trace the shape of your jaw as you go along.
My face, and then we're going to.
It is going to look really uneven, and that is okay. You're just getting the shape of the jaw. Just, yep, like up to just in front of the ear. I know, it's weird. It's hard to...
You know, we can do it on each other.
You can do that if you want. This is the... I had to figure this out on my own kind of... I'll get a different piece of paper. I can start from the beginning if people want, but...
Something like this?
Paper. Oh. I did that backwards, but paper, fold. Sorry, I've never had anyone follow along when I've done these before, so we are learning as we go together, children. As I said, just along the shape of the jaw. Yep, that one looks good.
This one?
Yep. Now you are going to cut that out. I'm going to go back to my original one now because I actually used that paper for something else.
For me, I'm going to get my whole jaw to here. You can be aggressive, it's all right.
To here?
Yeah, the whole jaw. Thank you.
Dumply, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Like this? So like I just follow this and just go like that till my
I think while Thumbs is reconnecting to yourself, you want the fold of the piece of paper to be like on your nose and chin, not like that.
So not like this. Okay.
Put the fold up where your nose and chin go, like this.
Straight line.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then draw.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's better to have too much than too little, right?
That's what I would say, probably.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
take more off.
Thumbs was having connection issues earlier. He'll be back in a second.
Oh yeah, that looks really good. Oh, mine looks that good.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having really weird internet connectivity issues today. But yes,
Okay.
that looks about right. So, point of BAM. Now, when you're doing this and you're going to shape it along, pinch it up along your nose, and you're going to notice a spot that is going to pop out. Pinch that, figure out where that spot is. For me, it is about that big. Oh, sorry, that big. So bam, you're gonna bam, and you can even just fold it on the side where you're getting it so it's tighter along the nose. You're literally going to take that little piece, and you're just gonna snip it off. You end up with something along the lines of this. Again, bam. We'll end up, when we do the actual piece together, we'll end up sewing that together because it just fits easier that way. So yeah, put it together. You've got it. You look like you're figuring it out.
And we just like cut out this little part.
Yep. So it's going to end up being like that.
So Dumbly. Question. Well,
Yeah.
if it's a little bit smaller, now that I measured it.
I'm sorry, you needed a little.
Can I see how it looks from the side for yours? Is it supposed to go almost all the way to your ear?
That's up to you, but you'll have more protection that way. Yeah, it looks like yours just, if you wanted it to, you could extend it, I don't know, like an inch or two, but it's really figure out what shape you want it to be, cut it out. Just the like simplest way of doing it. As I said, I've started putting it so it goes up and over, not over the ear, but you know, kind of following the shape of my beard right there, because it offers just that touch more protection. And it looks things like such.
I'm gonna make it a little bit more dramatic, like Thumbs is here. I think it's pretty neat doing that.
I think it looks pretty cool. You end up with, where did I literally just had it? That's where it comes up here.
Hey kid.
And I have pretty full face protection right there. If I put it on with any other mask, the only place here for me is the eye. And honestly, there's not a great way of making sure you never get hit in the eyes. Looks like a Mortal Kombat mask.
Yeah, I'm digging it. But we don't want anyone falling behind if they're struggling or anything. If anyone here, if you guys have any questions for Thumbs, just feel free. You can even type in the chat if you're more comfortable doing it that way as well.
Yeah, I am here to teach you guys. So if I'm not doing it right, then, or, you know, just.
I know leather can be kind of not very forgiving sometimes there.
And it's kind of scary the first time you cut into a piece of leather because you're like, wow, what if I mess this up? And the answer is you're going to at least once if you do a bunch of leather working. I have the like graveyard of failed projects.
Yeah, I know my experience with leather has been brig, like ninja brig. So it's really just been cut in squares.
That is way more forgiving and it takes way more patience than I tend to have.
They break a lot of needles, I guess, but other than that. You've done brig too.
I've done brig, but
This
I had like a
might wanna
system where there was like two
consider up so
people.
it lines up with your the bottom of your chin a little more.
Me?
It looks like it's going way lower than your chin, and trust me,
Oh, yeah.
once that's a piece of like
This, right?
thick leather, you're gonna like poke yourself, and it's not fun.
So
Okay.
mine's
Okay.
big.
I'll try.
So if I put like my hand underneath my chin like this, right, it shouldn't go that much past it.
Yeah, like mine goes as you can. Okay, you can't see it because you can't see where my chin ends. Sorry about that. But it'll go maybe a little bit below the chin. But if it goes down to like where my beard ends, that's you will poke yourself in the chest, and it's not fun.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good test too. If you hold it like right here,
Mhm.
if you're poking yourself in the chest, then that's too big.
Yeah, because if you're feeling it with the paper, you're definitely going to feel it with the
Leather.
thick piece of leather. Yeah.
Exactly. This is what mine's gonna look like.
And then if you get to the point that you are comfortable with where your mask thing is, and I'm not rushing anybody, the next step is going to be apply it to your piece of leather. My piece of leather is a greave leg armor that I was working on. That was the only piece of leather that's not packed up. So mine looks kind of funky, but it works however it goes. I am going to start tracing that part, but I am here if anyone has questions.
And what do you do on the top of the nose? You do this? Right?
Yeah, so when it wasn't, I already cut mine, but it originally went across like this, and I put it up against my nose, and I pinched it. So it lined up with like where it sits flat on my nose, and there was a little excess, and I just cut off that little bit of excess. Oh, bam. Oh, I need that. I cannot put it over there if I'm going to.
So I have a smooth side and like a rougher side of the leather. Which side should I trace on, or doesn't it matter?
It's really dealer's choice. Once we're done cleaning it up, it won't matter too much. I tend to do it on the smooth side because it just sticks better. But that does mean that if you have excess, you have little bits of the Sharpie or whatever that you're going to have to deal with later.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep, of course. There, that's starting to look better. Mayra? I'm sorry,
Myra.
Myra.
There's a little bit of my face poking out like right here. Is that okay, or will that
Yeah,
look
it should be fine. Is it just you're saying like part of your jaw?
Yeah, just look right here.
It should be fine. I mean, it means that if someone hits you there with an arrow, then it's gonna count. But I mean, if they're hitting you right there anyways, they're hitting you in the neck. Like there's not much that the murder mask is gonna do.
The smooth side.
Actually, if we want to like accessorize these with like Oni teeth or something, like can we do that?
We will get to that once we have it in the leather. Although, if you want to, designing it on this is not a terrible idea.
Mr. Tambri.
Hmm?
Then after I do that, it goes like this, right?
You're just going to trace it onto this. Yep. I would, instead of putting it right in the middle like you did, line it up kind of on the edge so you're saving as much space as possible because leather is expensive. So if you can save that excess leather for other projects, it's worth your time to do.
The
For-
lobby.
For those of you who I gave cuts of leather to, I think you guys should have plenty of room for your guys' masks. All you guys have kind of smaller faces or in general, but a cool project that you can do in the future with maybe your offcuts, you can make like a cool Naruto headband or something that takes a little.
I actually really love the Naruto headband in this because it gives you great breathability, and as long as it's coming in the front, you get really good protection.
Yeah. So if you guys have any offcuts or something like that, save them. You can find and make a project. You can even like make, I don't know, a cool token of some kind, you know, a LARP talisman to add to your garb or something, you know. Offcuts are really neat.
I have boxes and boxes of leather scrap of the excess from things I cut out. And eventually I'm going to make like some really ugly goblin armor or something made out of just like uneven cuts and scraps. And
That's super neat. I made a whole, actually one piece of armor in like a tournament. It was like it didn't fit me, but I made brig out of it. I cut it up into squares, basically. It was really neat. Leather lasts like super long time.
That's the other thing you can do of take the excess bits. I mean, once you have enough and make brig or scale is the smart stuff to do. I'm just super impatient, and I thought it'd be funny just to have like fucking mixed together.
I think it's cool. I've seen some really neat monster-esque armor that looks like it's all patched or woven together.
There's a lot of monsters in Stygia, so can I make this look monstery? Something that comes up a lot.
Yeah, I guess that'd be a good idea.
All right.
Yeah.
And then
So
once you have it applied, there you go. You are literally, you're going to take your box knife, your exacto knife, whatever you want to do, and you are going to just, we're going to go along this, trace along this. You are not going to cut through it in one go. So it is more important to go kind of slowly and evenly than to try and like force your way through. Because this is too thick for that. The only way I've ever cut in one go is when I use my father-in-law's bandsaw, which, if you have access to, I swear by.
As a note for everybody, if you have the opportunity to wear gloves during this step, safety
You're a
is
smarter person than me, yeah.
so go ahead and equip your level 1 gloves that offer +1 protection. Yeah, whatever you can still be articulate with, but be careful of your fingers, guys. I'd hate for this to be a hospital run because there's no way I can help you really, other than call for you.
I mean,
what if I don't have a box cutter?
Box cutter is on the list.
What happened?
if you have like shears or something, that can work, although it's a giant pain in the butt. Maybe.
Wait, okay, anything that's sharp, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is just the easiest because it's basically a razor blade.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good. I'm just gonna be here cutting.
Okay, and then we just literally just trace this out and cut it?
Yep.
Okay, that's a little scary.
People always act super impressed with leatherworking, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. There's a whole lot of just tracing it out and cutting it
out. The piece of leather is like a little curved. Is that going to be a problem?
Nope, because we are going to soak it later on in the dye, and it will, or just you can soak it to even it out. That'll be fine.
Okay.
Mine is all wavy. You can't see it, but it is, and it's actually kind of annoying. Part of the reason why I'm using it for this, because I was not looking forward to work I was going to have to do with it.
take this down.
Especially with what Carps was saying about practicing safety, because you often have to cut the same spot several times, especially because my blade is getting a little duller than I realized. Really be as careful as you can, because cutting yourself with a razor is never fun.
So for like the nose corner things, do you have any tips about how to make them more even? Because they're like slightly different heights.
Yeah. Let's just tell you. I would just trim the taller one down a little bit. So like, you know, say if this side was taller than this side, I would just line them up like how they're going to go and then just like figure out what excess you can cut off there.
Oh, actually, yours looks a lot wider than mine. Is that okay?
It should be fine. I mean, I have a very fat nose, so it is going to come out a little differently.
Okay.
Question.
Yo,
Okay, I didn't find anything resembling a box cutter. Can this help me?
Maybe. Can you cut through leather with that?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
I have.
This? I cut it like this.
Well, see, the reason I'm using this is because I can use that little tip of the point. It looks like with what you have, you would have to like saw through, which sounds awful to me.
Ниц 4 часа 30 минут.
You're going to end up with a piece like this eventually. But there is no rush.
So what else can I do to cut it with?
I am not sure what to tell you. Carps, you've done some cutting. Do you have any idea here?
So I think that there really isn't very much else you can do to cut at this point. I guess my question would be, is Thumbs,
Yo.
what's the next step? Is the next step going to be require it to be cut out?
You could mark up how you want to design it if you want to design it on anything. You don't have to design it either. I mean, it can just be a plain murder mask. But if you want, like, who was that? Wisp, I think, mentioned Oni teeth or something. Like, if you want any kind of decoration you can put on it, that's something you could do right now.
You could also still follow along and understand, because a lot of this stuff we can do at home so long as we have the basic understanding of how to do it, right?
Yep.
So
all of us can do it at home, pretty much. Like, you know, I don't even think I'm going to be doing any tooling that you can't do at home, because I'm going to do teeth similar to what Wisp asked for.
So this is gonna be a two-parter. So if like some of the steps that we're missing from this this day, we can you can do in between the time it takes until next session. Alternatively, you can go get a box cutter, but I don't know how long that would take in comparison to how long the rest of the course is going to be. But that would be.
That depends on where you have access to box cutters near you.
Those are your options, Myra. I wish I could help in some other way, but
this is the problem of having to do everything remotely. Like, there's advantages, but there's also
for sure.
I'll ask my neighbor when they come back, because they have like box cutters. They just have it somewhere that their partner doesn't know.
You have scissors at all? I mean, scissors might be something you could try. Yeah, I mean, you could try. It'd be a little harder for sure. It's going to be
and it would be less clean, I know for sure. Like, here's a pair of scissors, and I can kind of cut, but I mean, I did all that, and I got like maybe a centimeter cut. That is a way to cut the leather is kind of essential. I have cut with shears before. It is awful. I really advise just waiting until you can get your hands on an exacto blade, a box cutter, a carpet knife.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I've got this. No, that's not where this little tool. There is a small knife in between. This part is unessential. This is just fancier once you start buying leather tool stuff you can do. And I am literally just running it along the edge, and it is just cleaning up the edge of imperfections and stuff. You'll end up with this little bit. And when we clean up the edges, which is the thing that we will do next, it just will go easier. It is not essential to do this, but I have it, so I'm going to do it. and I figured I would just run it through for you guys real fast, just so you guys know what I'm doing. Anyways, about your tasks.
What is that? What is that tool called, Thumbs? Is it a beveler or something?
No, because a beveler is something else. It's a certain kind of knife. I do not know off the top of my head. I will get that information for you so we can
Thanks.
put it up. I'll send a link to a like basic all-in-one leather tooling kit. They're like $20, $30 that have the basics of it.
Feather, to answer your question, I'm gonna do it in person. Well, we had a participant ask because they missed the part about patterning. Could you briefly go over how to do that one more time? Maybe a faster, quick version, how we get to this?
Yes, of course. I'm not seeing that part. Otherwise, I would have answered it. Anyways, you're going to take a piece of paper. You're going to fold it in half. Sorry, that's an already cut one. That's going to look confusing. You're going to take a piece of paper. You're going to fold it in half. You're going to put the half part, the folded part in your face. You are going to trace the shape of your jaw. It will look funky. You're going to do it a few times, and then you're going to kind of pick a line out. And you are going to cut that out, unfold it, and you will end up with something that looks like such. There's also a little spot around the nose that you can clip out, which we will end up sewing that closed, but it just changes the shape. So it's got that natural nose fold, as opposed to if you don't do it, which you don't have to, it's just going to pop up right there and it'll look kind of funky.
Thank you.
And just let me know when you guys have this part cut out. It takes a while, so do not. It is better to go slow and get it right. I will definitely say a sharp box cutter is infinitely preferable than one that's kind of dull. And one, if you get a new one, it's definitely sharp. And it's only like $4 to get a whole new set of the razors. A dull one is way easier to hurt yourself. It cuts a lot more terribly. I met one person who said that they replace their blade after every cut, which is absolutely insane to me. That is nuts. There you go.
I think you couldn't really remember to do that regularly.
It would take forever, and these are cheap, but that would cost so much money. It's
of all the dull box cutters that are in this garage is people don't do that around here. That's for sure.
I know. I had to bust out my box cutter that's specifically for my puppet making supplies because there's just not a good one in this garage.
You have specific puppet making supplies? That's amazing.
Yes.
That's so good.
I can bring my Anna down here, but she's nightmare fuel.
Have you ever heard of the weird puppet island by Mexico City?
No.
Doll Island? There's an isle. It's like one of those man-made floating islands that's near Mexico City. And this weird dude lived on it for like 50 years and just collected dolls and put them across the island for 50 years. It is reputed to be haunted as all get out. I don't know if I believe in hauntings, but if any place is, it's that place. Look up BuzzFeed Unsolved and they'll have an episode on it.
For me, it's creepy. I know we're probably all past that step, but for me, it helped to, instead of go do this, I just did the whole thing. Yeah. And then I cut too. That was faster for me.
One thing that definitely helps when you're doing it is, let's figure out there, is I start, instead of cutting instead of cutting in, pick the point here and cut out in both directions, because then you can pick where it starts.
Nice.
One thing you can do, it is not essential, but it will make it, that is nightmare fuel. You are not lying.
Oh, my axe fell off. Oh no, Anna.
You gotta finish Anna.
I know. I really do need to fix the bugger puppet. Yeah, but she's cute and I love her.
She's great. I also looked up and there was that. So
Sesame Street.
That thing watches us as we sleep.
I turned her away.
I used to have a poster of Batman in my room, and I had to turn it away because I woke up one night and I looked up and Batman was just glaring at me. I'm like, nope, we're not doing this. If you get to the stage where you are done cutting and you are waiting for everyone else, one thing you can do is start doodling anything that you might want to put onto the mask. Remember that the more complicated it is, the harder it's going to be to do, and especially if you don't have leatherworking tools, it's just going to work against you. So also, you're going to want to make sure you give yourself some kind of air holes. This one's got these two long bits, which I will tell you breathes like a dream. If you don't have some kind of air holes, it's going to be a bad day for you when it's time to run around wearing this. That's not fun. No one likes that.
This is getting dull. Good dibs though on the first row. Oh boy.
I don't think that I have backup reasons.
I don't. Yeah, you can't flip it either, so it's no big deal. It's just definitely I can feel it.
Dumbly.
Yo.
Okay, so I have two now. This one's more sharp. I don't know. So
Go with the sharper one.
This, I have to hold it down because if I don't hold it down, it goes back down. Apparently.
Don't do that one. That one sounds like it's going to suck to work with.
And then this one is really stiff.
Stiff?
I don't know. Yeah, that's what they told me.
Okay, well, that one looks and sounds like it will work fine.
Okay. You said to cut alongside it?
You can cut along the line.
Along the line?
Yeah.
Or the line? No, okay.
The part that you traced on. Your mic is not on if you're trying to talk to us. Okay. All right. I just saw your mouth moving. So what I'm doing right here is I traced out the part that I'm going to cut out for the breathing area, my design bit. I'm just cutting it while you guys are doing your bit. No rush. Do your stuff. When we get to a stage where like 3 of you have your thing basic cut out, I will run down the next step. But again, take your time. I just want to make sure I am not ignoring you while I am working on my thing. Because I do that sometimes. I get excited.
Dumbly,
Yo,
how do I get to the end?
I'm
So
sorry, what?
I can see like it's being cut, but not all the way to the end. Do I just apply more pressure or what am I doing?
Yeah. Put some pressure on, and it's going to take a couple of cuts. You're unlikely to cut through the leather in one go.
Okay.
So like, cut the line and then go through again and cut the line, and you'll get a little deeper each time. This is why it takes so long, because this is really thick leather that we're working with.
Myra, if you got it in one go, can you drive over and cut mine for me too?
Huh?
Because if you got it in one go, can you come over and cut mine? Because it does
just
not.
wait until you see, like, I would not recommend doing what I'm doing for most people on the first time. This part takes forever.
Oh man.
I'm doing teeth. Teeth is something people love, but it is complicated. And this is simple teeth. There's no tooling involved. This is just cutting out shape. why did I make these so small?
Yeah.
There's a tool that thumbs use on it, and it like cut off the corner of this. That's like a little like 2-prong. It's got a knife in the middle of it. Do you know if we have
Looks
something
like such.
Do you have something like that?
They are great. They are not necessary. They just make the thing cleaner. Cleaner is more comfortable. How's that nail? Good, I'm back. Okay. Sorry, I do not know what's going on with my internet today.
Are you in California?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you in California?
No, I'm in Montana.
Probably because of the city you're in. I'm kidding. Is that windy right now?
Oh no, it's super winter out there right now. I'm
Wind-
just, huh?
windy.
Windy. Oh, no, but it's snowing still. Could be the weather. Could just be that the fact that there's only one internet provider in my town, so they can be as crappy as they want to be, and what are we going to do about it? I live in a state of 1 million people, like, total, so very different world from what you guys have.
How long have you lived in Montana?
28 years. I moved up here when I was 4.
You're from Oregon or?
Yeah, I was from originally, but I mean, I don't remember it. Like, I've lived here since I was 4. We're all. I know you're all in. Other than Sven, who's in Idaho, you're all in California. But where in California are you guys? I've been told this a couple of times, and I just don't remember.
Who are you asking that to?
Anyone?
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just.
We
Go ahead.
oh
Yeah, is it working?
yeah.
Thomas, can you hear me?
Hey, Anna! I haven't seen you in years.
I know. We live in Orange County, California, and this bunch of people in here is living at Castle Honorel, my house.
That's a lot.
And we can hear the Disneyland fireworks when Disneyland's open.
Yeah, we're near Disneyland.
So when
I'm
we
sure
hear
that
fireworks,
appeals to
we
some
know it's
people.
9:30.
There's a reason I live in the middle of bumheck nowhere.
What's that reason?
People stress me out. First battle for the ring I ever went to, I get there, I've been driving for 2 days to get there, and someone comes out and they're like, it's good to be out of doors and into the wild and camping. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is
Ermagerd, it's Majora's Mask. Also, we lost Thumbs again.
You did?
Mid-story.
Oh wow. Just when it gets interesting, he goes away.
Just when it gets interesting.
What was he gonna say? Oh, welcome to like the what is it? Paradise?
God, it is just acting up. Okay. How is everyone doing on their cuttings?
Not even halfway done.
You're
Take it
getting
for a
there.
while.
Okay. It's okay. It's very infuriating the first time you do this. You'll get there.
Okay. Eventually.
I'm weak with this thing.
Are you doing that on like a flat surface or something, or are you just holding it up and?
I was doing it on a flat surface, and then I go from like here to here.
All right, that's a thing that I do too. But yeah, on a flat surface is going to work way better because you're going to have that like pressure you're working against as opposed to just like. Doop, 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 doop. I know it's after Halloween, but I think I'm going to make this one a jack-o'-lantern.
Потеклок.
Looks like a shark jaw. Maybe I should do a shark jaw. Okay. Oh, it's shallow. That's why it looks weird.
Hey, Thumbs.
Oh,
So I do this on another project because I don't have one of those tools, but I did notice that it helped out the project because I took like a really small razor blade that I've got, and I've just been kind of cutting off manually, doing that with.
yeah, you can absolutely clean it up that way, however you want to do it.
Does that make sense for everybody else? I'm just taking the corner and cutting it off. I'm kind of like a potato peeler right now.
Hey, that potato peeler is a pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna grab a potato peeler. I'm curious if that would work.
Nice.
Here today, kids.
It's muffin time.
Like a great thing. Oftentimes.
Not holding up the group, am I?
No, because you're not the only one. I'm like here. Can you see this?
Dude, you're farther than I am.
What? No. I can't even see myself though.
Oh, look. Yeah, I've only gotten like this far.
You see,
Is it because your box cutter is kind of dull? What's going on? Do you need help, buddy?
Oh, I've like replaced the blade and stuff. It's just I like go around the entire thing, and like it's only now just releasing from the rest of the leather.
You know what helped me with the very last little bit? Because I had to fix it a little bit because I was getting frustrated. I just did two of them partly. But once it got to a point where it could like fold and there was a fissure in between, if there was a little bit left over, I just kind of cut that in a straight line.
It gets easier as it goes along. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
You know what
Instead
else?
of cutting like from the top, you can kind of get deeper in and cut it with smaller incisions where that last little bit that's connecting can eventually come off. On one of them, to be honest, I just ripped the last little bit because it was frustrating.
That happens. That is definitely a thing.
We're going to be, right, correct me if I'm wrong, Thumbs, we're going to be kind of finishing the edges on it. So,
yeah, that's about as far as we're going to get today. And if you want, I can just run you through the process for that.
It's kind of time consuming.
Yeah. And we'll, you have the basic shape cut out. I'll show you how to clean up the edges. And then you do whatever you want for breathing holes, designs, etc., etc.
Nice.
Do we still have
Just try data peeler. Answer is doesn't work great. That's it. Okay.
one, or did we give that to Igor?
Corban's leather hole punch?
Yeah. It was the manual ones where there's just like 8 pieces like this.
I don't remember. But if not, it sounds like something we could purchase before the next day.
Yeah, it's
I'll buy it.
only
I'll buy
like
it back.
$7.
I actually want to start buying some more leatherworking stuff because that's kind of like been a hurdle. Is well, one sitting down and actually doing it because I've had this side of leather under. Yeah, I've had this side of leather underneath my bed for 2 years. 2 years, maybe longer than that. Oh my god.
I'm just warning
Those
you.
are rookie numbers.
Oh man. Let's
Just
go
warning you.
talk-
It starts with one side of leather and like a $30 set of tools, and now I have 4 sides of leather in my house
Nice.
and boxes of just random stuff. And I mean, when I dive in, I tend to dive in hard, but
Can confirm it is a rabbit hole.
Nice. A good rabbit hole, I guess.
Oh yeah.
what I am using here, and this is just decorative, is I am using what is called a swivel knife. It can turn really easily, and I am literally just guiding it with my finger. And I am just making some lines because, as I said, I'm going to end up dyeing this and then painting it to kind of look like a pumpkin because I want to make a little jack-o'-lantern. Because
Nice.
I don't know why. But the nice thing about the swivel knife, and I'll show on a piece here, is you can turn really easily on it. So you can follow shapes. You're not going to cut through anything, but, you know, I drew a void with my swivel knife.
Oh, nice. Neat
The other
void.
side says birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real.
But that one I have actual tools for. I do weird. I get playful when I am doing the here's how you do stuff classes. Because if you're not having fun making this stuff, I mean, you're not always having fun, but like if it's not enjoyable, then
Yeah. Feather's a bird. Feather, are you real?
You know, sometimes I'm not sure.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
it's like a fairy. You have to believe in them or they'll die.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on you right there, isn't it?
That is a little pressure. Kill Feather.
Local bird boy dies because nobody believed in him.
Bruh.
Jesus, 2020 in a nutshell right there. This is going to fall under the things of projects I really like that I have nothing to match for, and I need to be careful to make sure I don't just start making stuff to match for it.
Nice.
You need like a go-to black dress.
Black drive?
No, black dress.
Little black
like
dress.
a little black dress that you can match with anything.
You know, I keep meaning to make like an all black garb set for that purpose, and then I go, oh, look at the colorful things when I'm at Joanne Fabric. I don't know if any of you are in the Great Hunt. It's a house that does a bunch of like challenges and stuff, and you get to pick an animal once you've attained a certain level that you are like, I am the whatever. And I chose the mantis shrimp because it hits like a brick and it wears every color under the sun like a psychopath.
Nice.
Are you in the cavitation bubble one or like the spear hand one?
My favorite is the little boxer one, but both of them are cool.
The boxer one is like, it generates light.
Yes, and it makes a vacuum when it hits because it hits so hard and fast. That's insane.
I know.
It's like
I just wonder,
this
like,
big, and I would not mess with it.
how does it not shatter itself with just the sheer force that it hits things with?
If by chance you have not seen True Facts About the Mantis Shrimp by Z. Frank, you should not be doing this class. You should be going and watching that instead because it's more valuable use of your time, to be honest with you.
So Frank is awesome.
Don't say mean things about yourself.
All right.
No, I'm saying good things about Z Frank.
It's a good place to study like beards and fish and babies.
I've worked at aquariums before, and they have to make extra thick glass for mantis shrimp tanks because otherwise they'll just bust the glass.
That's so good. That's, oh my god. Working in aquariums that have like a lot of animals has to be a trip because I've read about octopi being just nuts because they're so smart.
They're sassy, yeah.
Uh,
Can you imagine being the first person to visit the aquarium when a mantis shrimp punched through the glass?
I'm not sure if it would be better to like be there for it or to just show up and there's like the glass broken from the inside and like everything pouring out.
There's just a shrimp sitting on the ground, just outside the tank.
Just mad dogging.
If you haven't seen a mantis shrimp, I'm not kidding when I say they're every color under the sun. They are like psychopathic murder clowns. Like they're just my favorite.
I've been to the aquarium when it was sea dragon mating season. And when they're mating, they're all just like intertwined. And the closer they get to climax, they change colors. And I remember going and just being like, there's no drugs in the universe that can make me feel this fucking crazy. This is amazing.
So we go bow fishing in Helena, which is about 100 miles east of here.
Thumbs get disconnected with a story.
I'll finish his story.
Okay.
So they go bow fishing, right? They take all their bows. They take like 30 bows and they fish with them. They make this really long rod out of the bows and they use the bowstrings, right, to dip into the water. And they attach. They use smaller bows. They're also fishing for bows. Just leftover bows in the water. Bow fishing.
The rod just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah. They use the bow as the rod, and they use the bowstring as the string to catch the fish.
There is such a thing as the archer fish.
Yes, they catch archer fish with their
Not
bow
trying to
fishing.
tell a story because every time I try it, my internet craps out.
Oh, fun. That's awesome.
Well,
right
he
there.
finished the story for you, and it was a fucking amazing story.
It was
Thank you
That's
for
good
that.
to know.
You're welcome.
Does it involve bow fishing and fish orgies? Because that's
Yeah.
where mine was going.
Yeah, you use the bows to fish, and you caught archer fish.
You use the bows to fish. There's a lure attached, but if you go during the mating season, the carp are invasive, so they just want you to get rid of as many as you can. The water will literally start. Yeah, I know, carp. The water literally starts boiling as all of the fish are just around each other, and like I've hit 2 fish with 1 arrow before, just like boom.
Did you get like an achievement unlocked at the bottom?
We got, my record in a day was like 45, and I stopped then because I couldn't pull my bow back anymore. And what's
talking about killing fish right now?
And what's scary about carp is they're impossible to kill.
You
like,
remember
telling
that.
me that?
You fucking remember that.
Oh
all
my
of you.
god,
All
I've been
of you remember
trying.
they, as I said, they're invasive as heck. So they just want to, and you don't really eat them. So we're just trying to like protect the local environment. But I shot one in between the eyes, rolled it onto the shore, beat it with a rock a couple of times. Seagulls started eating it, and then it flipped over and swam away.
What?
I am not kidding. I mean, it was dead. It just didn't realize it yet. Like, we gave one to my friend, or to my wife's friend, because they wanted to try cooking it, and he took it out to, like, he left it in the freezer for like a couple of months, and when he took it out, it started like twitching just because they are designed to like go. It was dead, but its body wasn't fully aware of that.
That's high-key terrifying.
Yes. It's why I don't feel bad about, I mean, as I said, also they're invasive as hell. They almost wiped out the local ecosystem. Because they're these big Asian carp that they tossed into the environment after World War II because they're like, oh, people will eat them. And then no one ate them because they taste really bad. And they just were so like big and armored and impossible to kill that there's nothing here that was ready to deal with them.
But now Thumbs is there with a bow.
Oh, I am the bad one at it. My in-laws and my wife, they'll spend like 18 hours on a boat shooting carp. I live in a very weird place, you guys.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
I love it, and if you ever want to try it, you should come up and we'll teach you how to shoot carp. But not this time of year because it is cold.
Ah.
I mean,
Post-corona road trip.
Yeah, so Underall Academy 28, we'll do that.
Yeah, perfect. All right, I am going to just run through a few things on the side because enough people are starting to get cut and because we've been going for like an hour 15 here and I don't want to make this too terrible for people. One, on this point here, this is a hard one to show, but I am taking the blade and I am cutting it at an angle here and I am just trimming it down so it kind of comes up to a point right there. And the reason I'm doing that is when you sew it together, it will connect together better. Yes, I'm sorry, it is terrible. But it's basically what Carps was doing with his cutting the edges, but I'm doing it more on this side. You don't have to do this. It will just make...
Is it like this?
Yes, but trim it further.
Okay. Does it matter what side? Do I do it on the back side or the front side?
Do it on the back side. It's going to look really tweaky if you do it on the front side. And it's just going to make it, because we're going to attach these two pieces together, that the bit on the outside looks a little tighter. Because, you know, if I were to just try to attach these two pieces, that's too low. It looks funky.
I'm sorry.
It's just a cleanup bit.
Oh man, are you all right?
Yeah, purpley, but I'm all right home.
Oh man, I used to be blue for long periods of time. And not in like depressed way, but I'm like a physically blue.
My job has just stopped asking why my hands are various colors when I come back to work after my weekend sometimes, because I'll play with dye and forget about gloves until it's way too late.
Yeah. Yeah. This is fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Thanks, Thumbs.
Thanks, Thumbs.
Oh, I think Thumbs froze again.
Oh, no.
Domo. Where's everybody at? How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Does anybody need help or assistance in some kind of way that I can help you with? Has everybody finished cutting things out yet?
No.
Almost? No rush, guys. Don't cut yourselves. Please don't cut yourselves. Because I'll be sad.
Well, wait, what dye color did you?
Bad, but Montana internet's bad, so I'm not just doing it.
I thought he was doing it to be a little more dramatic, add some suspense to the meeting.
This up here. Perfect. That looks great. Is that the Majora's Mask?
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
I have a face mask that I was using as...
I have a pattern. I haven't made it, but to make the full wearable Majora's Mask out of leather.
That'd be super cool. I have like one that's like plastic, looks like shit. I have one that's like really thin leather and doesn't sit on my face right. And then I had one that was like cast in something, but then I took it to Battle for the Ring. These parts were 3D printed, but and I took it to Battle for the Ring and got way too hot and it's just like misshapen. So
Calcifer printed me one once and I just haven't finished putting it together.
Kels.
That's the little fire from the Studio Ghibli movie, huh?
Huh?
Yeah,
I think so.
What are you
Yeah,
asking?
yeah.
Calcifer, is that the little fire from that Studio Ghibli movie?
I don't know. He's just the guy that 3D prints things for me from Washington.
But yeah, I think that's from Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen that one once. I'm more of a My Neighbor Totoro kid.
I like Princess Mononoke.
I mean, classic.
Yeah.
I'm a Spirited Away fan.
Really, if it's Studio Ghibli, you're not gonna. Yep, okay. If it's Studio Ghibli, you're not gonna go bad. I mean, Porco Rosso, the weird pig man that flies by planes.
Oh, Ponyo. I like Ponyo.
Demon fish! Oh, Thumbs is frozen again.
I like the reactions he makes though
Yeah.
when he is frozen.
Do you know Ponyo is actually an invasive species of carp?
Wow, we should kill Ponyo.
I like to play this game when I'm watching movies. And the game is, at what point in this movie would Carla not be the main character? Because I would be like, fuck this, I'm going home. And one time I was doing that at my friend Timo's house. We were watching Ponyo for the first time. And I got through a lot of the movie until he's like, everybody's like, you need to put that fish back in the ocean. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I love you. And then the fish is like, Ponyo loves Sasuke. And I would be like, fuck this demon fish, yeet. I would 100% talking fish, just fucking keep that shit back in the ocean.
When I watch movies, I also play the game, when would Carla say, fuck this, I'm out. And it's normally somewhere in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
It's normally within the first 15. Sometimes I can make it 30. Before I'm like, fuck this.
We're gonna watch.
This is a Gryffindor movie. I'm a Hufflepuff.
We're gonna watch
You're a
Hufflepuff.
You just have sweat on my thing. That's what it is. It's gonna be standard sweat. I think I might not actually do any holes. I know he said they were supposed to, but I'm actually not going to do it.
You have to do home.
You should do holes? Might just punch holes in instead of doing them.
I can't even make them.
You should share with the class.
Well, I can share with this part of the class. Oh,
Bye, guys. I have to go. But it was nice being here. See you next time.
Okay. My poor wife is trying to play Among Us in the other room, and every time my internet craps out, a few minutes later, I hear her go, God damn it! I am going to, because this is getting increasingly worse, going to run you guys over the last step of cleaning up the edges. And this is the part where I said have like a wooden spoon or really just a piece of wood. I mean, I'm using the back of my hammer here. There's an actual bevelers that you can get, but we are doing this in the redneck version. First thing first, you are going to get the side of your leather wet. If you ever need to manipulate leather too much, wet leather, better. I am using a spray bottle. You can literally just dunk it in the sink, whatever. Now there is like kind of wax that you can do to clean up the edge of the bevels of your leather a lot better than water. But again, rednecking it, water works. And I am literally just going to rub this back and forth, and we are... It looks like I'm closing up the pores. I have no idea if that's remotely correct, but you're going to get the edge wet. You're going to rub it back and forth really fast. And we'll see if... it's not really showing it, but because my thing is terrible. This one is a lot smoother and it's rounder on the edges than the part that I haven't done this on. And it's just gonna, it looks better, it's gonna be more comfortable, and it will last longer if you clean up the edges like this. So, bam. Gonna accidentally spray water over my keyboard.
I've had leather pieces kind of do it on their own over time, just rubbing up against like my skin or something. Like a armor piece. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Makes it a lot nicer.
Wow, using the back of this like spoon, basically. I mean, in my camera works way better than I expected it to.
Also have these, which I saw they kind of double as a dowel as well as a sponge for like leather dyeing. I'm gonna try this and see if this works out.
Yeah, it looks like it worked fine. God. My computer's freaking out a little bit because I got water on it. That's my fault.
Spritz. I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna check. I think we have some of that leather conditioner.
It's the touch screen. Touch screens are the bane of my existence. The wetter leather is, the easier it is to manipulate, but the longer it takes to get in the final shape that you want it to be in.
What's the worst thing that has happened in Montana?
What's the what?
Worst thing that has happened.
Worst thing?
The worst. Oh.
No stories allowed.
So hard.
35 часов 30 минут.
Let's see. Worst thing is this freaking internet, but I don't know. A bear has stolen my garbage can a couple of times. I know someone who lost their house because an avalanche happened. Nothing that big.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I got this thing. This is a leather finish. I think that this is the thing you use if you wanted to use like actual stuff, right? For the burnishing. Did you freeze again?
That Carps, that in my experience is the top coat.
Okay, top coat.
Do that after the dye.
Well, okay, so what's the thing called that you use for burnishing the sides? Or getting the sides slick, the slicker, the conditioner. Is it just called leather conditioner?
You can use beeswax, you can use water, you can use saddle soap.
I have this. Would this work?
Do we have saddles?
Adam wax?
Might, yeah.
Saddle soap?
Anna might have saddles.
I think Anna might.
Yeah. Thumbs is back. Yay.
Hey! Here's the guy teaching class who disappears every 30 seconds.
Well, I'll use water for right now, and then I'll just buy the appropriate stuff. Hey, Thumbs.
Yo.
The thing you were talking about, well, let's say the stuff that you would use to help out with this, the conditioner or whatever it is, what is it called? So I can get it for the future?
I will get that information for you and post it. All of my stuff is packed away right now. Like,
Thank you. I gotta get. I don't think I have. I think I've got some wax, like beeswax, upstairs.
There's also gum tragacanth.
Gum tragacanth?
That's a popular one for the edges.
What does that smell like? Something that I brought?
It
Thank
might
you.
be Anna's paint.
To be honest, paint. Make me sneeze.
You've got a Q-tip. You could try that also
Q-tip?
for wax.
I have achieved victory.
Yay!
Nice.
Woo.
I don't like this.
You want help?
This is so much harder than the other things that I used to use. Yes.
Wisp.
Go ahead.
How does it look now?
What?
Mine still looks like this.
That's okay. You've never done this before.
I know.
You're getting there. You will get there. I am going to run over the last part that we're going to do for today. Just because I am getting tired of the internet crapping out, but I can hang out a little while longer while people are working. So the last part, if you choose to do this, is I am going to dye mine. I just use Ritt fabric dye. I also have fancier leather dye, but this is the like $3 at the grocery store stuff. I'm going to pour this into a into a bucket, mix it with some hot water, put this in the bucket, and let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. Then I'm going to take it out, drain it, and I am going to rinse it for like 30 minutes. It takes forever because you're getting all of the excess dye out. The more of this versus the more water there is, or less water there is, the darker it's going to come out. And no matter how much you rinse it, I warn you, if you use Ritt fabric dye, when you get moving and sweating on this, you're going to get a bit of that color on your face. It washes off. It only happens once or twice, but it's the dye.
I think most of us here, we have leather dye and not the Ritt.
You have actual leather dye. That's way better. This is it costs almost nothing solution.
Yeah. What steps would we take if we have like actual dye? I only gave them a small amount. I didn't know how much we were going to need.
In that case, just take I just use a paintbrush, and you're just going to paint it on. Like, clean off your piece of leather first with, like water and maybe a brush or whatever. And then you're going to take the actual leather dye, and you're going to take the brush, and you're just going to paint it on. If you can, a couple of layers is better. If you can't, that's fine. I almost always end up painting over my dye anyways. It just takes way less layers of paint, which means less likely for chipping and stuff. If you have a layer underneath, it just looks better.
Nice. For those of you,
right wrist, it looks a little pointy at the top, but that should be able to manipulate it.
Oh yeah, it's what are some ways you can clean up the edges again?
So you're going to take water. I mean, I have it in a spray bottle, but honestly, whatever, water. And then you're going.
While Thumbs is frozen, I also did. I took my razor blade, whatever, and I just took the very small corner off of it off, so it's more rounded on the edge. You notice that? Mm-hmm. I did it. It might be easier to see from here. Do you see? Well, do you see where I kind of cut just the very, very tip of it off with the razor blade, kind of like this? I did that before the next step because the burnishing is going to take a lot of it off, but beveling or adding a taper to it will also round it a lot more if you can get the whole solid edge just leather off. You know what I mean? If you want to try that, you're welcome to. If not, there's no need to. Not necessarily.
Yeah, I think that's fine because I'm getting like some burrs here and there.
Yeah, that's what I did. I just cleaned mine up a little bit. But us rubbing the sides is definitely going to do so much. It's really like a major upgrade to the project versus just leaving it unfinished for sure. I have a couple armor pieces that they have it just left like this, and I actually went and I took a wood piece and I did what Thumbs is going to go over right now again probably to it, and it really does wonders. But he did that using a little bit of water on the edges. Hi, Thumbs.
Okay. I'm so sorry. So you're going to get the edge wet. You're going to take, I'm using the back of a hammer. As long as it's like smooth wood, the back of your brush should probably work fine. And you're literally going to just, on the wet piece of leather, rub it back and forth until it goes smooth.
Okay.
You will be able to feel it when it shifts and kind of changes.
Try to soak up as much of it off as possible.
I'm having trouble getting like the two top parts together now. Should I make the triangle deeper or?
You mean that it's just not wanting to close? Or?
Yeah, 'cause, like this is as close as I can get them.
Yep, that's not unexpected. One, if it gets a little wetter, it'll be easier to do. And two, when we actually do it, we're going to do probably 3 holes on each side, and we're just going to sew it, and we're just going to pull it closed.
Okay.
Leather fights you until it gets wet. But once it gets wet, it's actually really easy to manipulate.
So I don't need to make the triangle any deeper then?
I wouldn't worry about it. I think you should be.
Thanks.
Yep, of course.
When rinsing the dye, do you mean under continuously running water or like in a clean water bucket?
I use continuously running water. I have been known to, This sounds weird. When I get it out of the dye and I need to shape it, I have been known to literally just put on a helmet and then take a shower.
Multitasking.
Look, man, it works. You're gonna be hanging out in that area probably because I tend to do it in like my bathtub. Anyways, and it's gonna get everywhere, so fuck it, just take a shower. I think that's where we're gonna end it today.
My mentality when bathing my cat.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna take a bath anyways. You might as well get it done in one. We're gonna end it here today. You guys are gonna, do whatever decorations that you want over the next week on it. You're gonna cut some stuff out. I will link to some better tooling supplies for those who want it. And you're gonna put your dye on. I'm assuming, Carps, that you just gave them black dye, or
I did. I just gave them black dye.
cool.
Also,
Black
'cause
dye
it's-
is black is perfect because anything goes over it really easily in the colors wise.
Also one of the realm colors. So yeah, it's super convenient.
Every realm uses black. That don't mean nothing.
Exactly. There we go.
Ours is black and white, which is weird because no one in the realm wears black and white. It should be green and brown. We're very woodsy. Every new person's like, I want to be a ranger. I want to like green and brown and woodsy. Like, okay, Aragorn.
I like that though. I'm a fan.
I wore green and brown and blue for years. Like it's.
You're an Aragorn.
I like Aragorn.
What's up, Wisp?
The earpieces don't exactly match up. Should I shave it down a bit?
If you want to, test it with how it's going to fit on you. And if you think it's going to be a pain in the butt, then change it. And if not, whatever.
What if
Okay.
I did that triangle?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What if I didn't do a triangle?
You don't technically have to. It will just not line up on your nose quite as easily, but it does let you skip a step.
You should do the triangle if you get the opportunity to, because then we'll be able to learn. You'll be able to learn firsthand how to stitch the leather together
as you
too.
see on this one, this is kind of a weird stitch because it was frightening me, but
1 second, I can't see.
Good thing you froze on that image right there
Oh, no.
because it's very helpful. Can you guys see the stitching? We're going to stitch up the nose right there for anyone who wasn't aware of that. So if you put the triangle there, it's going to give you an opportunity to shape it a little bit more. And the stitching, the sinew or whatever I put in your guys' kits, that's what you'll be using it for.
This?
Yeah, that stuff. So if you don't cut a nose piece out of it, then I don't think there's another step that requires the stitching. Maybe these sides might require it as well, but you should put a triangle in it, Myra, if you get the opportunity to. I'm gonna do this while sitting on the couch or watching something, because
Okay. Will you help me clean this up?
yeah, I think it's time to clean it. Yeah. I was gonna use this giant one right here to do this. Oh.
bright side, if any government agency is trying to spy on me through my internet, it's going to be very frustrating for them.
Just have that FBI.
What is that?
It's a magnet.
Maybe it's rain? Maybe it's windy or something? I have no idea, lady.
But there's been like 4 times today where I have found that outside and I put it somewhere else.
Maybe someone's messing with you and they're really, really having a good time.
Magnets.
If it's you, I need you to fucking stop.
I thought Beetle was just using his hand to clean the edge there. It's over the edge. I'm like, wow, dude, that looks terrible.
I have such dry skin that I just use it as sandpaper sometimes.
Perfect. That's
Balance.
see a doctor.
Another
Just-
piece from my puppet making kit, that dowel.
If you do end up doing later projects and don't have the actual dye, this was dyed with Ritt fabric dye. I'll put up pictures of other stuff that I have done with just Ritt. It comes out a lot more dull, than like a lot of better dyes, but it does come out really well. And if you're using it as a base layer, it goes great. This one I'm going to paint kind of bluish, and I'm going to put clouds on it and paint in the bird, and with the birds aren't real because I don't know. Like blue sky with the clouds is amusing to me, and that's what I do.
Hey, Thumbs, question. Hopefully you didn't cut out right now. Oh, I think you did. Yes.
Can I have like one of my snacks in my mouth?
I know. Yes, you can. You can have one. But dinner's gonna be right now. Okay, kid.
Give me a second. I'll help you.
Okay. When he comes back, I've got a question. Dibs on the next question. So how did everybody enjoy the course so far? You guys having a good time? Learning a lot?
Yes, it's just really.
Yeah, it's a slow grind too. It's leather's one of those things where it's pretty time consuming. And then
I hate the little imperfections.
yeah, but you're gonna get that off once you do the slicking on the sides for the most part. Hi, Thumbs.
I'm not gonna lie. Once this happens again, I'm just gonna call it. I am getting very mad at my computer.
That's totally okay. I was gonna ask them. So you want us before the next course? You want us to dye it?
Yeah, I would do any dyeing, and any, anything you want to cut out, decorations that you want to do on it, stuff. Anything that's not going to be like painting, but if you're going to like carve onto it at all. Do that during that time. And that way you can do it on your own time. You're not doing it while like everyone else is doing stuff and you're going like, oh God, I have to like keep up, because that sucks. It sucks.
Gotcha. I do stamping on mine. I'm excited. I'm also going to do maybe some wood burning on it, because I don't know how to do the tooling, but I have got a wood burner.
Wood burning is fun. I've done it. It doesn't smell super great, but that's okay.
That's true.
What you will need for next time is a way to punch through the leather. You can do it with, a nice leather hole punch like Beetle has there is perfect. My favorite one is yes, thank you guys. I prefer using a drill because it's way faster. And next time we will cover shaping it, and then I'll run over the basics of painting it, but really it's just take paint, put on. And I'll keep hanging out and working on this while we're going, but this is now kind of done. If you guys have other stuff going on in the meantime, if you have any questions, of course, feel free to hit me. And I'll post links to some basic leather. Yo, what's up, Wisp?
Sorry, I know you were talking about, like, if I wanted to add teeth on the outside of this, how would I do that?
You mean like so, or?
Oh, because like, like the Japanese like oni mats, how they have like.
Yeah, I know. But my question is, are you trying to go all the way through the mask, or are you just trying to? There's a couple ways you could add teeth. You could take other pieces of leather and like sew them on. Which, with the leather we have here, I think that would look kind of funky. If you could get access to something like Harps's wood burner, you could literally like draw it out that way. There is various tooling things like the swivel knife. You could try with another knife just very carefully, but that's, yeah. Or you can do something along, like not this pumpkin shape like I'm talking about, but you can literally just cut out the shape of teeth with your box, or the negative space of teeth with your box knife.
If you're interested in a wood burner, Wisp, you can pick one up for like $10-15 on Amazon even, or at Michael's. They always have coupons.
And I will link to a basic for about the same price tooling kit, which I can do instruct. It's gone. I'm done. Nope, you're back. Oh, I didn't lose it. My phone or my computer was being dumb. Oh, thank God. Okay. I'll link to a basic equipment, and I can show next week how to like tool the shape out, which is literally just taking hammer, piece, and that's not the one I use. And just like stamping it is the word I'm trying to failing to find.
Okay.
You can also, you can find me through the Anduril Academy page. If you want to private message me, I can try and find some other ways of doing it for you. Like I could talk to you a little more one-on-one on it.
Okay. Well, first things first, I gotta get this done. But
yeah, no, that's why I'm saying like do your designs by next week, so that way you're not. That's like, oh God, everyone's waiting on me.
Okay. If I have any questions though, I will take you up on that DM.
Cool. I am easy to get a hold of, and I spend too much time on my phone.
Same, dude.
Basically, don't need that. What is going on over there?
What's going on over?
I just hear crashing noises.
Oh, just putting these away. Thank you so much for for teaching us stuff today, Thumbs. I really appreciate your time. I know I'm excited. I think that this is going to get me more into using the leather that I have, being able to actually put it in front of me and work on it. I personally appreciate that.
The nice thing about leather makers is none of us really know what we're doing, and we're pretty good at sharing what we do know. Like I've seen some crafting groups where they're like, no, because then I might not have customers. Most of us are like, look at this thing that no one else I can talk to about. Like,
yeah. And then for everyone else, we'll have the part 2 of this on our next Anduril Academy, which
that's next Sunday again, I think.
Not next Sunday. The
okay.
following Sunday.
Okay.
Because next Sunday is Shannara Collegium. For those of you I haven't plugged it to already.
I'm doing stuff for that. Oh God.
Yeah, that one's next weekend. That's the 14th and 15th. And then the one after that will be the the next session for this is going to be on the 22nd of November. It should be same time. But Thumbs, if you want to adjust it anyway, let us know.
No,
okay?
It should be same bat time, same bat channel. I'll let you know if that changes.
Wonderful.
All right, I'm gonna go figure out dinner because it is 7 o'clock for me and I'm hungry.
Take care.
I don't know.
That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they might need? Maybe go ahead. What's up?
Okay, so after we do this, right? How do we take out like how do we make it more smoother in the edge?
Okay. Yeah. So I'll say it. Okay, 1 second. So I did it this way, and I find this to be the best. It was the most helpful for me because the next step is smoothing off the edges. What I did was I took my box cutter. And I know, did you end up getting a box cutter? Yes. So what I did was I took a box cutter. This one's a little itty bitty one. And what I did was I took the sides of it right here, and you know how it's like normally like a corner. This is your edge, right? In a microscope, it's very, very large version of what the edge of this is, right? So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we're gonna cut off that little tip right here. Does that make sense? We're gonna cut off this like that. Cut away from yourself, never cut towards yourself if we need that reminder. But I did that all across both sides, this side and this side. And I took it thin at a time. Be careful, please don't cut your finger.
It's okay.
You cut yourself?
A little bit.
Oh man, okay. Well, if it's dangerous or you're bleeding or anything, make sure to take care of it. But yeah, if you could just make very small cuts around there. And then when you're done with that, Myra, if you want to stop for right now, If you're done with that, then what you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of water and a paper towel, and you're going to soak the corners of it in water. That's after you do the tapering of the leather here. And then you're going to take your wooden dowel, which I gave you. It's like a little wooden dowel in the kit. I gave you a thicker one, like a larger one. I didn't even realize that the end of this is also a wooden dowel. That one might be easier because it's so much larger. But then what you can do is you're just going to rub the sides of this like this all around. Yeah, and you're going to get the side like this, and you're going to get it over here, and you're going to do it flat, and it's going to get it to look something a little bit more like this, where it's smooth. Okay? Does anybody else have any questions or anything that they might need help with? No? All right, everybody, thank you for coming. I think I'm going to cut the video here, and I'm going to go eat some dinner. So, see you guys later. You guys are also going to be cut from the video once I cut from the video because I'm the host, okay?